Welcome to the Iron Breed Podcast. My name is Austin, and here again with me this week, Gerard.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
So we're continuing. It's Monday. Mindset Monday continues. We're going to continue off of last week's setting yourself up for success. With, I think we're going to make that a little series of how to set yourself up for success. And specifically this week, we're going to talk about setting up your circle, the people that you interact with the most, who you have in your life, who you keep around you, and how who's in your circle and what goes on in your circle is going to have a large indicator of how you're setting yourself up for success.
Absolutely. So, if you haven't heard this quote, there's a great one that's been given out by a very motivational speaker, Jim Rohn. He's given a lot of lectures and lessons, but you are most like the five people you surround yourself with, the five people you interact with on a daily basis. So, we're actually looking at it goes beyond that. It's those five people and who they interact with, and who those people interact with, and who those people interact with. And it all streams back to you, what you're more acceptable of doing, what you find as tolerant, and how those individuals influence you and your decision. So, we're going to be talking about that. Who is in your circle? Are you surrounded by negativity? Are you surrounded by individuals that aren't supporting your goals? Are you surrounded by people who are going to set you up for success? So, this is going to be an interesting one, because you
Yeah.
might, you might realize that you got some people in your circle that they don't support you to your fullest.
And it's a hard realization to get to that point. And it causes a lot of dissonance in our life when you get to a point where you realize that maybe you're not surrounded by the best people and you have to do something about that. And that's hard because a lot of times these people that are in your life in that capacity are generally people that you care about to some degree. And so it's, making a choice to do, well, do I do this or do I do what's right for me? And that gets really hard. And I know Gerard and I are both, when we talk about this, I think Gerard's probably going to end up getting a little deeper on this than I will. And that's okay. And it goes to show you that we both kind of have like slightly different opinions, but I think that's what's going to make this super valuable, and helping you being able to kind of determine like, hey, are the people that I'm surrounding myself with helping me get where I want to go?
Exactly. And so I think we love, truthfully, we live in a day and age where people cut ties, burn bridges so quickly. Oh, I'm done talking to her. Oh, I don't know, mess around with him anymore. And, you want to be mindful of that because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to go through that whole process. You're causing yourself a lot of stress and the detachment from that. And so there is another way, we call it a healthy detachment. And what a lot of that comes from is just being able to find an understanding. Someone's going through a negative situation, they're projecting a lot of that negativity. At the end of the day, who you surround yourself with is your choice, whether you take that on and you carry it. You can love someone and appreciate someone and have a healthy detachment where you recognize, okay, I actually have to take a step back. I support you and I really want you to get through this, and I will be here in the best capacity I can. But if I continue to allow myself to be around this negative behavior, these interactions that aren't benefiting me and the goals I'm trying to pursue, I need to take a step back so I can allow myself that healthy detachment to focus on myself. So then I don't start devaluing myself. And that's a hard pill to swallow, man. We want to help the people we care about. We want to help the people we love. And we start, hating on them when we see them doing so bad for themselves because we know they can do better. But at the end of the day, every individual is responsible for that. So, you know, why don't we go into a little bit about like bringing awareness to when you do start seeing people, you know, not being the best type of environment.
Yeah. So I think, it's interesting because earlier I had mentioned, you want to surround yourself with people that are helping you get to where you want to go. And sometimes it's not even directly about actually them helping you get where you want to go as it is about them not detracting from you trying to accomplish what you are. Because generally speaking, as a lot of times as you start making changes in your life and you start growing, you're going to start noticing a lot of things changing, and you're going to start noticing behaviors that you maybe not have seen a problem with before, that you regularly engaged in with like your circle, your clique. Then as you start growing, you start changing. Now you start seeing these problems arise and how they don't line up with your values anymore, or like what you're trying to accomplish. So, for example, maybe you're really trying to get serious about your weight loss or your fitness levels, or maybe you're like trying to get into bodybuilding and all your friends are like partiers, and all they want to do is go out and drink and party Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And now you're trying to lose weight, and like you know how that goes. Like, you'll go out to the bar, probably get a few drinks, you're probably going to get some food while you're there, and now you're trying to count your calories and be good about that, make sure you're working hard, and obviously like that doesn't really align with what you're trying to do. So it's not so much necessarily like, oh, what are they doing to help you? It's like, well, at this point it's like, damn, engaging in that behavior and hanging out with the same type of people that only want to do the same thing, that doesn't line up with where you're trying to go, is actually kind of detracting your value. So then it comes to that point of being aware that these situations, these values aren't exactly what is best for you, because at the end of the day, it evaluates what you want to do with your life and where you want to go with your life. And you have to kind of realize the steps that it takes to get to that point. And then you have to evaluate the behaviors needed and actions necessary to get there. And so that's why it's important to make sure that you're doing things that align with that. And so it's really hard, because it's really hard to start anything new for the first time and actually stick with it and be consistent. So, if you want to start dieting, if you want to start doing whatever, if you want to start your own business, if you want to anything, you want to learn a new thing, you want to learn, you want to move, like anything, it's so hard to go start and actually do that and be successful if you're not surrounded by people that support that, understand it, or don't try and take away from that. Like, oh, like it's okay, you can have a cheat day. Well, I'm not supposed to have a cheat day right now. Oh, it's okay. Like, it won't kill you, but it's not helping you get where you want to go. So being able to consciously be aware of what you're doing and where you're trying to go. And that's really hard. That's really hard. But making that awareness, I think, is the first factor.
Exactly. And then the second you can have that awareness, you can then decide, okay, is this individual projecting their negativity out on me? Are they really just uncomfortable with something about themselves, or feeling insecure that I'm trying to make a decision that maybe they're not ready for? They feel like we're not interested in the same things, and that's why I think people get so quickly into cutting the person off, burning bridges. But you can definitely come from a place of understanding and where that individual is at, and recognize maybe, hey, I was at there, but now I am. I'm trying to further my goals, trying to do something else to better myself. And this will tie in perfectly to our next podcast coming out. That's going to be work life and training balance, because that's a tricky one right there. If you're trying to do something that maybe doesn't fall in line with those individuals who are in your close circle, you're gonna have to figure out a way to set up your schedule, so maybe you can allow some time to hang out with those individuals, but have a healthy detachment to get your work done, get your exercises in, make sure your meals are cooked, whatever it may be, so then that you don't start devaluing yourself because you keep falling into habits or patterns of negative behavior and thinking, because you keep directly you know falling into what these other people are doing. And that's a tough one, man, because the biggest place that I've been able to do is just I didn't always think like this, I didn't always act like this, and I may even slip back into poor habits that aren't as good. But being able to have that understanding right now, see where someone's at, now I'm not devaluing them. I'm not, hating on them for what they're doing, but I also recognize what I need to do so I feel good about myself. And that's like, that's like a tightrope of like social anxiety to balance on.
And it's hard. It's hard to figure out where that right line is, because everybody's on their own journey. I mean, I've been forward thinking for a while now, but I really haven't put it into action until probably the last like year or two. But then I've really only like stepped it up. Like I continue to like step it up and take that to new levels. But as I continue to step that up and take it to new levels, it's becoming aware of other things. And it's like, oh man, it's like, you know what? Like I can't sit here and like hate on people for not doing what I think they should be doing, because that's what I think they should be doing based on what I'm doing with my life. But my life is not the same as their life. Everybody's got a completely different life. And that's okay. That's okay. You know, everybody's going to have different. And this is where I think Gerard and I different in a little bit, in that I'm like, you need to just surround yourself with people that understand where you are, and like they don't have to agree with it, but as long as they accept it and support you and provide some sort of, you know, like, or they're not detracting value from you or trying to not convince you to do it, you know, like do something better for yourself, right? Like, you know, they may not agree with it, but if they're like, hey, like this is what you want to do and it's better for you that way, you know, I'm your friend, hell yeah, go do it. I support you doing it, even though I may not particularly see what you see. I may not agree with what you agree with, but I can tell that that's something you care about and that you're passionate about it, and that that's the right thing for you. So I support that. Hell yeah, do it, dog. But not everybody's like that, you know. So
Yeah, no, it's a tough place to be at, and I think it's something I struggled with a lot. And it's always something I have to remind myself is, exactly what Austin said. Is just because these individuals aren't doing, what you determine as quality or setting up for your goals and standards, doesn't mean that you have to then completely distance yourself. It all goes back to that healthy detachment. But one great quote I love is when everyone around you doesn't seem to be measuring up, it's time to check your yardstick. I think sometimes that can just be so true, man. We're always in, especially if you do have aspirations, you have these fitness goals, you want to get somewhere, you're training for a competition, you want to start a business, you want to be somewhere in 5, 10 years, and you feel like you just keep getting caught up in the mix, and the people around you don't talk like how you want to. And it's very easy to you start projecting your judgments, your insecurities, your fears on that close five people that you're around. But here's the thing: value those relationships, those people who have been with you for the good times, the bad times, the fun times, everything. Don't continue to project out those insecurities you might be feeling, and to value those relationships when you may be at another point in time where you find value in them again. Keep finding a way to have a healthy detachment, to stay sometimes in your own lane. It's gonna feel like that, but do the things you need to do to continue to feel like you're making progress on those goals, what you're trying to achieve. And guess what? You are going to meet more people who have those goals, who think a little more like minded, and you can still talk to those people that you did have those relationships with. And, it's like what Austin said, if at least they're, giving you a salute from a little distance, like, hey, I don't really want to eat that every day. I'm gonna go out and eat, or I don't want to, get up that early, or I don't want to read about that. But you do you, man, and I'm happy for you.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like, you know, ever since I switched to bodybuilding, like obviously I don't eat the same way as everybody else right now. I mean, I go out to eat and I'm bringing my own food, or like I'm like ordering super specific meals, you know, if I'm in a group situation and everyone's like, oh, you're probably judging me. It's like, no, it's like I chose to do this. Like, I'm not going to hate you for, you know, what I chose to do. Like, that's dumb. So, you know, everybody, you just got to be aware of like your choices, where you're trying to go with your life and what you're trying to do. And just be aware that, you know, like George said, you know, I find once you start doing something and being about something, like minded people seem to find each other. And I've noticed weird ways throughout life. Instagram, I mean, I hate social media sometimes, but I love the way that social media has brought people into my life that I'm on the same wavelength with, generally speaking, and it usually happens at the right time. So the universe has a way of bringing the people that you're looking for to be in that circle into your life. You just got to be open to it. But don't just, you know, shun and get rid of everybody else just because you don't feel like their values and lifestyle line up with yours.
Absolutely, man. Cherish those relationships you have had, you have made time with, and know that from just, walking your own path, that you may influence those people. You may change their direction, their decision, and they just might not be there right now. So be mindful, continue to find that value in what you're trying to do, and get after it today, man. It's Monday. Let's
It is
go.
Monday.
Like it,
It's
it's,
Monday. We're
it's
taking
time to get
steps.
after it.
We're
Yeah.
getting better. The whole focus, it's Monday. Let's have a good week. We'll see you on Thursday or Friday. We haven't decided yet. Probably Thursday. We'll post
Yeah.
another episode this week. Keep your eyes out for that. Once again, my name's Austin. You can catch me at _Zekman.
You can catch me at GerardLetendre. That's Gerard Letendre. That's right, the Frenchman. You're gonna see a big red beard.
And if you like our podcast and you think what we're dropping is valuable, and there, feel free to share it out. Tag some people below that you think would really appreciate this message. Share it out to somebody that needs to hear this. We don't really want to sell things on this podcast. That's not what this is about. So we're not gonna. I think we're pretty against ever having ads on this podcast. So, we just hope that if you like what you hear, share it out. Let us know, let other people know. That's the only way they're ever going to find it. I mean, we're going to try and market this, but also you telling somebody could change their life too. So,
It goes a lot. We really appreciate it, y'all. We appreciate y'all listening to us, rant on Monday, telling y'all to get after your goals.
so, all right, y'all, it's been real. We're going to get rolling. We'll see you later this week. Thanks for listening to Iron Breed Podcast.